going to review what a reverse is very briefly here, and then we'll pick up there at that point. If you recall, there are several things that define a reverse. Number one, there have always been two suits bid, and when you have reversed the hand, you always have more cards in the first suit than you did in the second, because the reverse denotes at least a moderately unbalanced hand. A reverse promises 17 plus high card points. You might do it with 16 if all of your high card points are in your two suits and you have really good spot cards with no stray queens and jacks in the other two suits, because odds are that those are both unguarded honors, and so therefore really can't be given their full value when you're evaluating your hand. When the opener reverses, that's forcing for one round. Responder needs to bid again, because short of having a two club opener, the opener's hand could have as many as 21 points in it, and maybe has one too many losers for a two club opening. Say it's a 5 loser hand instead of a 4 loser hand, then this could be a really big hand. And even if you have only 6 or 7 points, game could be there. Most of the time, of course, it won't be quite that strong a hand, but I have reversed with that many points in my hand because my hand had a void in it, and I didn't feel like opening 2 no trump because I didn't want Don to come over and adjust my score. And so I had to do something to show my partner how many points I had and how strong my hand was. So it can be considerably more, or well, more than 17 high card points. But if I'm a responder, I'm going to count on my partner for at least 17. And here's the key. The second suit that is bid is higher in rank than the first suit, and it is bid at the 2 level. These are all the characteristics that go into making up a reverse. And then here we have some examples. 1 club, 1 heart, 2 diamonds. Diamonds are higher in rank than clubs, and the second bid is at the 2 level.
30.
Or 1 diamond, 1 spade, 2 hearts. Opener cannot possibly have 5 hearts unless he's 6'5" in diamonds and hearts, and unless he has the values to reverse, he needed to rebid his diamond suit, and I wouldn't like that at all. But if you don't have the values to reverse, then you have to bid 2 diamonds and show your hearts on the next round, unless you decide to open the higher ranking suit first here. The reason we call it a reverse is I think everybody understands that normally we bid our higher ranking suit first. But when you have reversed the hand, you have reversed that order of bidding. And that's why this particular move is called a reverse. So let's move on to slide 12 here. We talked about when a reverse shows extra values and when it doesn't. When the responder has bid at the 2 level for his first bid, then if the opener bids a higher ranking suit, that may or may not show additional values, because he has to respond at the 2 level because responder bid at the 2 level. Responder is promising at least 10 high card points if you play standard American, but if you play the 2 over 1 game force, then you're in a game forcing auction. And after that 1 diamond, 2 clubs bid, for instance, now we go looking for that 4-4 fit to see if we can find one. And so bidding that way does not promise extra values. However, if the opener bids that way, he may have the extra value. Some pairs have said, no, we're not going to do that. If there's been a reverse, what looks like a reverse, we're going to say that always promises extra values. I don't know how you find your 4-4 major suit fit after a beginning like 1 diamond, 2 clubs, if you have that agreement, but some pairs do. So it's up to you and your partner if you play 2 over 1 as to whether or not that potential reverse actually shows extra values. So we've talked about a couple of different shapes here as well. Now we come to the one that gives everybody trouble in bidding when they have a lot of points. If you're singleton here, when you have 1 4 4 4, in other words, you have a singleton spade and 4 cards in each of the other suits. I know by definition, I said that a reverse has more cards in the first suit than it does in the second. Well, you don't have a 5-card suit here. You know, there are always situations due to the randomness of the cards and how they end up in your hands that don't fit the rules. Exactly 1 4 4 4 distribution, it is not what I would call exactly common, but it happens. So in this instance, I would plan to open 1 diamond because I have 4 cards in each of my minor suits. So I open a diamond in that situation, and then I would reverse into 2 hearts because my partner is going to bid spades. I know when I pick up my hand, my partner is going to bid spades. That's just the way it is in my life anyway. But now there is the new, well, relatively new ruling from the ACBL that says that if your singleton is the ace, king, or queen, and you do have the requirements for a 1 no trump opening in terms of point, that it's perfectly okay to open 1 no trump with this particular distribution. Or if you have 18 or 19 points, you can open 1 diamond. Your partner bids 1 spade. You can now jump to 2 no trump holding 18 or 19 points. If you have 20 and you have a singleton ace, king, or queen, you might even consider opening 2 no trump. I played in a game one day where a guy with 7 hearts opened his hand 2 no trump because he had the point requirements. He had 7 hearts and a very unbalanced hand. Just for reference, that's a perfectly legal call. It may not seem like it would be because of the restrictions that are placed on a 1 no trump opening bid, but it's harder to show the hand with that many points that has unusual distribution. Personally, I'd have been inclined with that many points in a 7-card heart suit, I'd have been inclined to open 2 clubs and look for the heart fit. Well, our opponents didn't. They ended up in no trump and took all 13 tricks, whereas the people who played in hearts only took 12 tricks. So go figure. Sometimes weird stuff like that works out. Here's some examples. Here, when you have a hand that would indicate you could reverse. Now, look at this hand here, number 1. It has 17 high card points in it. It has 5 clubs and 4 diamonds, which means it is certainly strong enough to reverse, and partner is forced to take another bid. If he now rebids spades, bids spades again, indicating, we'll talk about this when we get to responding to openers reverse. If he rebids spades showing 5 of them, and it is only 5 in this instance because partner reversed. This is not true in most cases. In most cases, when you rebid spades here, it would promise 6. But when the responder has a weak hand and is forced to bid again, he can rebid spades with only 5 of them. If he rebids spades, you're now in a position to bid 4 spades. If he bids anything else, say 2 no trump, indicating he has only 4 of them, then your next bid needs to be whatever number of spades it takes to show the spades. This describes a hand with 5 clubs, 4 diamonds, because we reversed, and then we delayed support on spades. That shows 3 of them. Your partner should be able to figure out from this bidding sequence that you have a stiff heart in your hand. That will help him decide where the best contract is. So when you have 3 card support and a hand with 17 high card points and this kind of distribution, it's important that you show your partner 3 card spade support, even though you have described your strength by reversing here. We talked about delayed support here, a month or 6 weeks ago. When you don't support at your first opportunity, you deny having 4 cards here in the spade suit, in the major suit that your partner responded. But if you support on the next round, you're promising 3 card support. This is one of the ways that 5-3 fits are found, when it is the responder who has the 5 card suit and opener who has the 3 card support. It's easy to find a 5-3 fit when opener has the 5 card major suit. He just opens the major suit. But in this case, this is the way you bid when partner may have 5 spades, but you have no guarantee. Remember, opener's job is to describe his hand. His first 2 bids do that. He bids 1 club, reverses into 2 diamonds, showing longer clubs than diamonds. And then when he shows delayed spade support, that promises 3 of them. So he has patterned out a hand that is 3-1-4-5 exactly. And
Susan,
number 2.
Susan,
Yes.
question from the chat. This is backing up a bit.
Okay.
So I'm clear, the rule about it being illegal to hold 10 cards in 2 suits for 1 no trump doesn't
Right.
apply to a 2 no trump opener?
That is correct. Yes. At least that's what the director of that online game told me, because I asked. I said, just checking. I know that there are not nearly as many requirements for
let
shutting.
me
And
let me get
this
in a
is
little bit.
perfectly legal call that he made here.
Okay, so that is the case in an open game. You got basic plus and open plus. That is the case. It is a legal call. That said, it is not a natural call. A natural no trump call would be one that meets those definitions. Therefore, I would argue that it needs to be alerted.
Ah.
And now for the folks playing in our 0 to 1,000 and 0 to 500s, those are basic plus. And that means no, it isn't legal. If you're playing in our 0 to 500 online game, we expect you to meet those requirements. That is to say, no more than 10 cards in any 2 suits, and if it's a single, then it has to be an ace, king, or queen. But if you're in an open game where you're using the open convention rules, then it is legal. However, it is not natural, and therefore it should be alerted. So if you and your partner decide that you can open a no trump with a single and deuce, you need to, when he opens 2 clubs, when he opens 2 no trump, you need to say it may not be completely natural, whatever your agreement is. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. And what happens if you just come along on this hand and you haven't discussed it with your partner, but 2 no trump is the most descriptive bid that you have, and you have no agreement? Can you still make that call?
Yes, I would think you could. What I
If your
see from
partner
other
says,
tournament directors is they're pretty lenient with regard to things like this. You may get a comment later that if that's your partnership agreement, that's fine, but you need to be alerting it.
Yeah, and if it's a hand that just comes up, and if somebody asks your partner later, he can still just say no agreement, right?
Yeah. I would, you'd like to have him say, as far as I know, it's a natural no trump.
Yeah.
I expect it to be a natural no trump bid.
Okay. Roy has his hand up. What can we do for you, Roy? Roy? Rick, am I seeing things? Does Roy have
No,
his?
no, I was muted.
Oh, okay.
So this, you can still do this even if you don't have it on your convention card. If you don't have that agreement on your and if you do have well, I'm just confused. You don't have to have it on your convention card, but you can still do it.
Well, if like for instance, when I discuss a 2 no trump opening with my partners, it's 20 to 21 balanced. I have had hands that had a singleton, ace, king, or queen in it and the appropriate number of points to open 2 no trump. But I usually have another way to show that, either with a strong jump shift or with a reverse. There may come a day though when I don't have that type of hand, like if I have a 1-4-4-4 hand, when I do want to open 2 no trump, either with a very unbalanced shape like that, or I still don't know why this one particular pair, this one guy chose to open 2 no trump with a nice 7-card heart suit in his hand. But that's if you and your partner have not discussed it, there's more leeway on a 2 no trump opening than there is on a 1 no trump opening. The rule about having 10 cards and 2 suits for a 1 no trump opening doesn't apply to the 2 no trump opening. You could do it, but you would be confusing your partner as much as you're confusing your opponents when you do it, if I understand what Don said correctly. I would only do it if I had no other choice for a descriptive natural bid, is what I would do. So, does that make sense, Roy?
I'll have to think about it, but yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, call me one of these days and we'll talk about it some more if you need to.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Or call me.
Great. Thank you.
Hand number 2 here. We're on page 13 now. If you open this hand 1 spade, as you can see here, you have 16 high card points, not counting that singleton jack of hearts. I would not count that, frankly. If you open 1 spade and your partners are like mine are, they're going to bid 2 hearts. I mean, it's just inevitable. You have to go to the 3 level to bid the diamond suit. When you have that situation, now, if you play the 2-over-1 game force, it's that's fine. We're now in a game forcing option. But if you don't play 2-over-1, to bid your second suit at the 3 level, you either need to be 5-5 or have 14 plus high card points. This is not technically a reverse. Number 1, because the first suit was higher in rank than the second one. And the 2 suits are the same length. If you don't have 14 high card points and your partner bids 2 hearts, depending on your partnership agreement, I suppose you could bid 3 diamonds, but you are pushing that bidding level up very high, particularly if your partner may only have 10 high card points, or maybe he fudged a little and he only has 9 and 1 point for length in the heart suit. So this is not a hand that I would never open a diamond and rebid a spade here because I'm not covering up a 5-card major just to show points here. Note, I can't open this one no trump because that heart is a singleton jack. A singleton jack does not qualify. So you need to open this hand with a spade. If partner bids 2 hearts and that's game forcing, you're perfectly fine to bid 3 diamonds. And even if you don't play 2 over 1, this hand has enough strength in it that you can afford to bid 3 diamonds. But with fewer than 14 high card points, I wouldn't do that. I would not recommend it. So now here's another hand. Hand number 3 shows an example of a hand that's more than 5-4 in your 2 suits. If I'm holding this hand right here, number 3, I'm opening at 1 heart. And then following your partner's 1 no trump forcing response if you bid 2 over 1, or maybe 1 no trump whether you play 2 over 1 game forcing or not, I would reverse it into 2 spades. That is a reverse. Even though 1 no trump is forcing, your second suit is higher in rank than the first one. Regardless of how your partner bids on his second call, you rebid your spade suit to show 5 of them. Now you have patterned your hand. If you had exactly 5 hearts and 5 spades, you would open 1 spade and bid and rebid hearts. When you open hearts and then bid and rebid spades, you have not only shown a hand that is 6-5, but also one that is strong enough to reverse. Does that make sense? I hope. This is the way you would bid a hand like that. It only has 16 high card points in it, but it has a void. It has a lot of playing strength, and partner's got to have a fit for either hearts or spades. I mean, I can construct a hand where he doesn't, but the odds favor that he would have at least 2 cards in one of those suits. So after you have bid this way, your partner will decide which is the best suit to be trumped. Remember, opener is the describer, responder is the decider. So it is up to the opener to be as accurate as he possibly can be when he's describing his hand.
Susan, Beth has her hand raised.
Yes, Beth.
So if your partner rebid the heart suit, you wouldn't rebid your spade suit, would you? Your 5-card spade suit?
Well, no, if partner showed heart support after that,
Again, yeah.
I'm not sure that could indicate, depending on whether you play constructive raises or not.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he has heart support, 3 of them, he should support hearts immediately with a weak hand. And
Okay.
in that case, I'm probably just going to bid 4 hearts if my partner bids 2 hearts over my 1 heart.
Okay.
Once you found a fit, you don't have to go looking for a conniption.
Right. Right.
And partner has described his hand within a narrow range. He has at least 3 hearts for you, and he has somewhere between 6 and 9 points. I'm pretty confident that we don't have a slam when he has only 6 to 9 points. I suppose it's possible he could have the king of clubs and the ace of hearts and the queen of spades, and we'd have a slam. But my partners never have what I need for a slam in that situation. I used to be a cockeyed optimist in that kind of deal, but not anymore. So I would tend to show my strong hand by jumping to game immediately. And then if he has more than he promised, he'll go on.
Okay.
He'll go on. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right.
You bet. Hand number 4. This hand has 19 high card points in it. That is, that's a pretty good hand, isn't it? I am, when I'm looking at this hand, I am really, really tempted to open it to no trump. I have 19 highs and I have a 5-card suit. And my convention card says 2 no trump openers are 19 to 21, a good 19 to 21 high card points. So I will think seriously about opening that 2 no trump. However, if you prefer to keep your 2 no trump openings strictly to a 20 high card point hand, you can open 1 club, and then you could rebid 2 hearts over whatever. If obviously a partner bids 1 heart, you're going to bid 4 straight away. But my partners will bid 1 spade or even 1 no trump. If my partner responds 1 no trump, I'm going to bid 3 no trump. If my partner bids 1 spade, this is a semi-balanced hand. I can show the same number of points by jumping to 2 no trump. In other words, you have a choice here. You can either bid 2 hearts, creating a 1-round force and saying, hey, I happen to have 4 hearts. I know you don't, unless you have 5 spades and 4 hearts. Or you can jump to 2 no trump. Being that this is a semi-balanced hand, I like the idea of the jump to 2 no trump. You can always use new minor forcing. If your partner has 5 spades, or if he has 5 spades and 4 hearts, he might use new minor forcing over the 2 no trump. It would be 3 diamonds, just like 2 diamonds would be new minor forcing over a 1 no trump response. And remember, yes, you have to have invitational values, but invitational values over a jump to 2 no trump are several notches down on the point scale. You can use new minor forcing after that jump with as few as 7 high card points when your partner has jumped to 2 no trump. So I would choose the jump to 2 no trump here, but reversing to 2 hearts is not wrong. It's not wrong. You just have several choices, and whichever style you like, you and your partner like, it should be what you do. Now, let's see. Now, at favorable vulnerability, what are you going to open this hand? You open it 1 club, right? And now your partner bids 1 spade. This hand only has 14 high card points in it, doesn't it? Now, should East raise with only 3 card support here? There are a lot of people who would, saying, I don't have enough to reverse. If I'd had 5 hearts, I'd have opened a heart. So why shouldn't I raise with 3 card spade support? The answer is because your hand is balanced. It is much better described by a rebid of 1 no trump. Remember, a 1 no trump rebid shows 12 to 14. You have exactly 14. When you raise your partner with only 3 card support, you need to have shortness somewhere. And by shortness, I mean a singleton. And your 3 card support should include one of the honors. Hopefully, partner can use the honor that you have to draw a round of trumps, and he can use the little ones to rough losers in the suit where you are short. So, in this instance, I never raise. When I have a balanced hand like that, I never raise with only 3 card support. If I had 4 card spade support, then I would bid 2 spades, but I don't. So it's 1 no trump all the way here. Now, here's a sample where you are the responder and you have a weak hand. Your partner opened a club. You bid 1 heart, bidding your major suit, your 4 card major suits up the line. And now partner reverses into 2 diamonds. Now, what are we going to do? Responder cannot pass because opener reversed. A bid of 2 spades is fourth suit forcing to game. So that's, and besides, I tend to think if my partner had 4 spades, he might have rebid spades rather than diamonds. But he's shown a hand with 5 clubs and 4 diamonds. Unless he has a heart void, he doesn't have 4 spades. So what's he going to do? He can't pass. He can't bid spades because that's game forcing for most players. Promises at least invitational values when you do it. He has no choice but to rebid 2 no trump. This is the standard way that responder bids when he has only a 4-card major suit. When he has a 5-card major suit, he can rebid that major. But with only a 4-card major, he shows a weak hand by bidding 2 no trump. Unless the opener has extras, he should pass. If he has a common garden variety minimum reverse, he should pass 2 no trump. Remember, he has at least 17 high card points. You have 6. That gives you 23, and you should be okay in 2 no trump with 23. May not make the bid, but you won't go down a bazillion usually. Here's another example. West opens club. East bids a spade, of course. And now West rebids 2 diamonds. East rebids 3 spades. Remember, when the responder jumps a level in his major suit, he's showing you an invitational hand with 6 spades in it. And Mr. West should say, oh, well, I'm glad you have 6 spades. I still don't have support, but I do have enough in hearts that 3 no trump should be a pretty good bet. Pretty good bet. Notice the East hand has 11 high card points in it. He jumped a level because 2 spades shows a weak hand with 6 spades in it, or in the case of a reverse, only 5. It promises only 5. So here, when he has more than the weak hand, he jumps to 3, saying, partner, I have a good suit over here, and I've got a pretty fair hand as well. But as you can see, West says, why couldn't you have bid hearts? But I'm willing to take a chance on 3 no trump because you've shown me that you have more than a minimum responding hand. That makes 3 no trump a reasonable contract. Notice there is an entry in hearts, and there's definitely a potential entry in clubs here. So if you really want to set up those spades, I would lead the jack and overtake it to lead spades until one of my opponents had to take the ace, hopefully. You never know. That's a good way to play it a lot, but it may or may not work. Here's another one. I put this one in here because when players learn a new bid, they often want a chance to show off their new toy and may manufacture a reverse because they know how to bid one now. Some of the East players over here who held this hand, who has, let's see, 8 and 6, 14, 17 high card points, that's definitely strong enough to reverse. But notice the major suits are the same length. The major suits are the same length. So I do not encourage anybody to open 1 heart and reverse into 2 spades here. A 1 no trump opening can a 1 heart opening can very easily be followed by a 1 no trump bid from West. Look at this West hand. That's exactly what he'll bid. He doesn't have enough to bid at the 2 level at all. And then he will take a preference for the first bid suit because it's supposed to be longer than the second bid suit. And now we're playing in a 5-2 fit when we could have played in a 5-3 fit if you had just bid correctly, right? So 1 spade, 2 spades by Mr. West. And then East certainly has enough to bid the game. He has a very nice hand. 2 5-card majors. Really, really, really nice. So if you don't get a raise immediately when you have opened 1 spade, then you bid the hearts twice, saying, I have 5 hearts and I have at least 5 spades, but I could have 6 because I started with spades. So, in summary, when a player opens with a lower ranking suit at the 1 level and then rebids a higher ranking suit at the 2 level, then he or she has reversed the hand. A reverse that follows a 1 level response by the responder is forcing for 1 round. Responder must bid again. You should always assume when your partner reverses that the first bid suit has more length than the second bid suit. The number of high card points needed to reverse depends on your distribution. With 5-4 in the 2 suits, I wouldn't do it without 17 high card points. You've heard the expression 6-4 bid more. Well, with 6-4 in the 2 suits, you need only 15 points minimally for a reverse because you've got a 6-card suit. And remember how you show these 2 suits? 6, 4, 6. Bid the 6-card suit, then the 4-card suit. If you have 15 points, it's okay if that's a reverse. If you don't have enough to reverse, then you have to rebid your 6-card suit. With 6-5 in the 2 suits, I mean, there are 11 of your 13 cards. This is really a distributional hand. So the more distributional your hand is, the fewer high card points you need because the hand has more playing strength. Now, if all of the high card points are in your 2 suits, and the short suits don't have any wasted queens and jacks that aren't guarded, then those point ranges can be dropped by one. And here is the statement I made last week that gave 2 or 3 of you some problems. A jump reverse is a splinter bid. I got several emails saying, Susan, that looks like a strong jump shift. In some cases, it is a jump shift. It all depends on whether opener's second bid was forcing. I'm going to go on to this next slide that I prepared that shows you the difference. In this case, 1 diamond, 1 spade, 3 hearts is a splinter bid. A splinter bid, by definition, is 1 level higher than the forcing call would have been. In this instance, would 2 hearts have been forcing? Yes, because it's a reverse. So that means 3 hearts is a splinter bid in support of spades. When opener's rebid is forcing, the bid of a new suit 1 level beyond the forcing bid is a splinter. When opener's rebid is non-forcing, and here's an example of that. 1 diamond, 1 spade, it begins just like this one. 3 clubs is not a splinter bid because 2 clubs is non-forcing. This is a strong jump shift in the minor suits. 2 clubs is not forcing. 3 clubs is game forcing for most pairs because it shows that unbalanced hand that would have opened 2 no trump if it had been balanced. So here the splinter bid is 4 clubs, not 3, because the bid one level below this 3 club bid is non-forcing. Therefore, 3 clubs is not a splinter, it's a strong jump shift. Think about that for a week or two. And then call me back if you need to. It took me a while to wrap my head around this, to make the distinction. But I can remember the first time Ron Hinkie ever told me that. He said, this is the way you recognize a splinter, Susan. You know, like, wake up, dummy. The bid of one suit, or of a suit one level higher than the forcing bid is a splinter, because you don't need that bid for anything else. This is basically where the idea of splinters came from. You don't need that particular bid for anything else. So in the event here, this first example, the second bid is forcing here. If he had bid 2 hearts, that's a reverse. That's a 1-round force. So therefore, 3 hearts, the jump reverse bid, is a splinter. In this instance, when he bids 3 clubs, that's a strong jump shift, because 2 clubs is not forcing. Therefore, 3 clubs is not a splinter bid. Have I confused you totally? Okay, good. I see Beth's thumb up. That's good. That's good. So, all right. Now then, by way of a review with competitive bidding, here, if partner's 2-level response following an intervening bid is in a higher ranking suit and your right-hand opponent passes, the rebid at the 2-level in a higher ranking suit is not a reverse. This is because your partner's bid was forcing 1 round. In other words, if you get a call on your left, or that's in case of the opener. If the opener bids, there's an intervening call, and responder bids a new suit. Next person passes. Opener has to bid again. If he doesn't have a stopper in the opponent's suit, he can't bid no trump. So he may be forced to bid what looks like a reverse. But that rebid can be made with a minimum hand because he is forced to bid. Now, if your partner's 2-level response following that intervening bid is in a higher ranking suit than your first bid suit, then a 2 no trump bid by you, assuming you have a stopper, shows 12 to 14 points. That's similar to the 1 no trump rebid after your partner's 1-level response. Now, if the intervening bid is made by opener's right-hand opponent rather than the left-hand opponent, an opener voluntarily bids a higher ranking suit at the 2-level, now he has reversed because he voluntarily bid it at the 2-level. With a minimum opening hand, he can pass because partner will get another chance to bid. And as we started out saying today, holding 1-4-4-4 distribution, that is a singleton spade, and 18 or 19 high card points, open 1 diamond, and reverse by bidding 2 hearts. If responder bid 1 spade, and your singleton is a jack or a lower ranking card. As always, if it's the ace, king, or queen, you can jump to 2 no trump. Now, this finishes hands that are reversed.
Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for watching this video today. Most of these videos come from our free bridge lessons that we present on Zoom every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you'd like to join us for those lessons, you can email us at the address shown below and we'll send you the link. If you can't attend the lessons, then feel free to subscribe to our channel and you'll be notified when there is a new one added. Again, thanks for stopping by and we hope to see you soon.